one thing that we always try to open each show up with is some sort of straightforward, more sort of philosophy-driven thought that I've been in the middle of lately, and one that I've been on, for a while, and I feel like when I talk about it, I'm a bit of a crazy person, right? Because I take it to a fanatical level, but I really believe you've got to master time to truly have a high quality life. And everybody always says like, oh, whoa, master time. I mean, I wish. I mean, is that even possible? There's never enough hours in the day. And I think to most people, including myself for many years, it was the same thing. I lived inside the same paradigm because it was like, man, you basically could spend every single hour of the day doing the things that you had to do, and you still couldn't do the things that you wanted to do because you still had too many other things that needed to get done, and you did not get them done, and then you got to get up the next day and do it again. That's when time is controlling you. And you have got to take control of time. And the only way you can really begin to do that is to begin to block out time and commit to it and get better and better at working more efficient inside those blocks of times. You've got to elevate your time efficacy. Like really what you're doing in your allotted time and how much output and impact you're having on the things that you need to get done and the things that affect the quality of your life. You've got to design this, and I think a lot of times, despite, being someone that's an advocate of you must, design your time and then get better and better at living in that structured, controlled, consistent time structure, it's still a skill like anything else that you have to develop. But in the simplest form, you got to start. If you know that you want to spend time with your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, like your friends, like you want to work more, work less, you want to focus on creative personal growth, be in the gym, meditate, do yoga, all these things. You've got to then design your time to make sure that you can even do these in the first place, and a lot of people will say like, hey, you got to win your morning and you can win the day. And that's true. But if you can design your day and you can win your life, because really understand and mastering time is going to give you the balance that you seek and give you the peace of mind that you're searching for, because you're able to fit in all the things that you need to be balanced and feel energetic and feel great because you're doing it with purpose. And it starts with just, designing the day in chunks and really, really making sure that like, hey, here's the things I'm going to commit to and when I'm going to commit to them. And a lot of people may be a night owl, you may be a morning person, whatever it may be. But if you start looking at how important those hours are and then begin to understand how to manage them more efficiently, you're going to see a huge impact on your well-being and the quality of your life. And for me, of course, I've gone extreme, where I have, laid out every single morning to all the date nights with my wife, all the way to like the times I spend with my kids, all the meetings that I do that are on an ongoing basis, like sort of how I treat every single morning, how I treat my weekends, right? And I still leave it adaptive depending on how I'm feeling. But because I have that baseline structure of the amount of time that I use for all of these different things, I fully understand the importance of every single hour. And the crazy thing is, we all got the same amount of time. You got 24 hours, right? You sleep for 7, you got 17 to work with, and so, for me, when I think about when I transitioned from waking up at 7 to when I started waking up at 5, think about that. Now you got 2 extra hours, and 2 extra hours is essentially, a third of an entire work week. A regular 40-hour week, if you get up 2 hours early, 7 days a week, you just got 14 hours right there, and for me, I eventually moved to like, hey, sometimes I'll go to bed early, get up at 3:30, so that I get that additional. Now think about that: 3 hours before 7. That's 21 hours in a week. That's half of a normal person's entire work life in the morning. And that to me, it sounds extreme. I had a friend of mine, the great Russ Pillar, who really turned me on to the idea of simplicity on the far side of complexity. He's an amazing man. But he used to get up at 4 in the morning when I met him back in 2013, 2014, and I was like, look, you're getting up in the middle of the night. It's insane. Like 4 o'clock's the middle of the night. Like you're not like I had barely transitioned to 7. I'm like 4 o'clock. That is the middle of the night. Now I get up at 4 o'clock, probably like 4 or 5 times a week now. And to me it's because, man, look at all that additional hour gives me. In whether that's like having time to meditate, I'll get up at 4 before I shoot so that I could get in the gym before I shoot, so that when I go and shoot all day, I don't have to skip the gym. It's the use of those hours that you get is essentially like adding, an entire extra month or two of work or allotted time as it relates to, kind of how you spend your time if you connected it to a 40-hour work week. But, I am certainly an extreme version, and I have found as I've gotten sharper and sharper and really designed time, and now there's not 1 hour that I don't understand why I'm using it. None of it. And I look at my calendar every day. I look at the gaps in it. I look how I build it and balance it. I look at how do I make it more efficient. I know I want to watch a playoff football game, and I've committed to doing my vision board bottles that I do with my wife at the beginning of each year. What I do, I double them up. On a Sunday afternoon, we worked on our bottles while I had the football game in the background. And to me, it takes me 2 hours to do one of those bottles, of picking the images that I want, cutting them all out, and gluing them to it. It's like an arts and crafts project. And I think, man, that 2 hours is a lot of time. But I want to do it. It's something that's special for us, and I killed 2 birds with 1 stone, essentially. But the funny thing about time mastery as I have it today is like you evaluate every hour so much more crucially. It's like whether or not you can spend that hour on, whether it's like someone that you don't know well to take a first meeting, or something that's more in my case, or even going to dinner with friends. You know what I mean? Like I got so many close friends that'll be like, oh, I'm in town. It's just like, man, I don't have the allotted time to be able to dedicate to it right now, because I have so much that I love that I'm doing that has filled those slots, because I've learned how to fill them efficiently and get a high output out of. And ultimately, to all my closest friends, it's like, yo, you got to hit me 2 or 3 weeks in advance. Like, you can't just show up on a Thursday and be like, you want to grab dinner tomorrow. Very, very difficult for me, and I like it that way. And at the end of the day, because I've gotten better at controlling time, then I go a level deeper, and now it's like, what does that time serve me? What's the output? Does it pull energy or give energy? Right now it's ultimately how much effort does that time actually take from me or need from me, right? So now there becomes this incredible blend of mastering time, energy, and capacity, which really drives your output to an extraordinary level, and it's the super advanced level when you get to a world where you understand every single hour and every hour counts, and then you begin to optimize those hours, and then you can begin to look at it through the lens of time, energy, and capacity. But it's possible. And it starts first with just designing your time and building your time in a way that you begin to fully understand and control and get more and more consistent at managing the time efficacy of each one of those hours that you have to, achieve your goals, recover, reflect, spend with your friends, socialize, have adventure, have fun, all of these things that make up your quality of life. You've got to design time and fit them in, and then get better and better at maximizing that time in order to lead that amazing high quality life.